Hey guys, welcome back. As you know, I'm a real music attorney and I represent a lot of record labels. And if you are a record label owner and you're struggling right now, you clicked on this video because you're looking for help. Now, you might be thinking the reason that you're struggling is because maybe your artists aren't good. Maybe the music that your artists are putting out isn't good. Maybe you have bad investors that are just being a little overbearing and it's making it difficult for you to run your business. Regardless of what you're thinking, in today's video, I'm going to give you the 5 real reasons most record label owners are broke and sad. So if you're ready, let's go. Hi guys, I'm top music attorney Miss Krystle. I'm an entertainment attorney, public speaker, and creator of the Top Music Attorney School for artists and record labels. I'm the owner of Dukes Up Records, and most importantly, I'm an independent artist. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss my weekly videos giving you my best tips on the music business, industry news updates, and teaching you how to stay legally protected. Let's go. Number 5 on why record label owners are broke and sad. They don't get their legal affairs in order at the beginning of their record label journey. Now, if you're not at the beginning of your record label journey and you're watching this video, it's okay. Whenever you decide to kind of take these steps, you want to do it, but it's kind of the sooner the better, because the reason why record label owners fall into these issues is because they don't have, for example, a legal structure. As a record label owner, it might just be you with your label and you have some people working with you and you have artists and you haven't really built just yet. So even if it's just you want to start what's called a limited liability company. I have covered this on this channel and I'm going to link to a video explaining not only limited liability companies, so LLCs, but specifically single member LLCs, how to set it up, the bank account stuff, the IRS stuff, so you can deep dive into how to go through that process. But other than the LLC, there's also your record label contract. You gotta have a contract with your artist, and you need to know what that contract says. Again, another video that I have covered at length. I will be sure to link that down in the description. But then finally, taking ownership of your brand. Don't put in all of this work to build a brand as a record label and then you don't own your trademark. Or worse, you come to find that someone else owns it because you never did a search. You never hired an attorney to actually file your trademark. So when I say kind of getting your legalese stuff together, your LLC, your contract, your trademark, this is the stuff that is just kind of your administrative steps you need to take with your record label as soon as possible. Number 4 on why record label owners are broke and sad, they give away their business. Okay, so what I mean by this is that typically when we are trying to do deals with people that are joining our company, we'll say, hey, become a partner, I'm going to give you 25%. Hey, become a partner, I'll give you an equal share of the company. And it all seems great in the moment, but then you come to find that someone's a crappy partner. They don't pull their weight, or they kind of put in the work the first year, and then year 2 through 5, you're doing the majority of the work. But you already gave away the ownership. Or another instance, you get an investor. The investor's going to give you $100,000, so you give them 50% in your company, and then your company ends up being worth $500,000 within, the first year. There are bad moves that you can make just because they were made too soon. You need to make sure that if you are going to make a move like selling off a portion of your company for people's time, for people's money, don't do it too soon. And better yet, give yourself time to have that leverage. If you need people to come and work for the company, pay them. Pay them an hourly. Right? Pay them $15 an hour, something simple. So you can still accommodate their time, but ultimately you're not giving away the thing before it's even built. And while it's still pretty cheap. And so I kind of say this, remember, your thing is going to be valuable because you're going to make it a success. You're not doing this so your label won't be a success. Number 3 on why record label owners are broke and sad, they get the wrong team. And guys, when I talk about getting the wrong team, I have seen teams that will literally destroy the company right when it starts. And it's not because you just go and hire a bunch of strangers and they come in, they don't know what they're doing. That could very well happen, but in most instances, we start the label and we look into or around our circles of community, right? So it's going to be our family and our friends. It's who can help us, who can kind of, not charge us a lot of money and, that kind of thing. And that's fine. But what happens is that you have a team in place who doesn't have the same vision, the same work ethic, and doesn't understand how to be a part of your enterprise. So then you bring it in, like I said on the last tip, you give them a part of the company, of ownership, and now they're running stuff and they have no idea what they're doing. And then you feel bad because you already gave them the position, you already gave them the role, and so you're trying to work with them, but even in your effort to get things on track, you're exhausting your time and you're not actually building your company, you're just kind of spinning your wheels. And setting aside the awkwardness of telling your best friend, for example, that they're doing a terrible job and you're going to fire them, if you do have someone come in who says they can help and they actually aren't a good fit and they might have bad intentions. I've seen this happen where there's a conflict of interest. Someone comes into the company and they're actually taking contacts for themselves. They're actually building these relationships for themselves because they're on the side building their own business. So when it comes to kind of these concerns that we have with the team and what's going to happen, the number one thing you got to have everyone sign is called an NDA, which is a non-disclosure agreement. The NDA protects your thoughts, your ideas, anything that you disclose to this potential employee, whether you hire them or not, but especially if you hire them and they're getting to know kind of your trade secrets. So you have them sign the NDA, you have them sign what's called a contractor agreement, you have them sign different things so that the scope of the relationship is super clear. They're not owners in the company. But you couple this with the other contracts and things that we've talked about, right? So tip number 5, we're talking about making sure you have your record label agreements and other necessary contracts. Now, like I said, I'm a real attorney, right? I help record labels every single day. So what I've done to make this super inexpensive for label owners so they can get the help, I've done a course, but I wouldn't even really consider it a course. There are lots of videos on all the different things about running a label, right? We're talking about distribution and contracts. I actually give you those contracts for free as part of this course, but we're getting into stuff like sampling, right? Sync licenses to TV and film. But as it relates to what I just said with a non-disclosure agreement, an independent contractor agreement, your record label agreement, all the stuff comes in as part of this course. So I'll be sure to link it down in the comments just so you can check it out. And just know, if you want to come back, check it out. Know that this is a huge resource that you have so that you don't need to feel nervous about this stuff. You don't need to just kind of move forward with your record label and be fearful that you're missing an important step, because I've already done the work for you. Number 2 on why record label owners are broke and sad. Well, they get into the music business without knowing anything about the music business. Guys, this is not meant as shade, but I have seen so many record label owners who start their music business because they're just passionate about music, and they're usually changing careers, right? They've done something completely different for like a decade, and they're saying, now I want to get into the music business to be a record label owner. And that's completely fine, but this comes at a detriment, not only to the record label owner who doesn't know what they don't know, but obviously they're not really going to be able to be of service to the artist that they need to. But what I tell record label owners is you gotta just go through a learning curve. Because the great news is that the music business is pretty standard. There's standard stuff about how you do your deals and how options work in your agreements and how advances work. But you need to actually learn that stuff. Now, obviously, I just mentioned the course. You can check that out because I'm teaching you all of that. But what I would say is that before you sign your first artist, make sure that you've done some research as far as how do you distribute the music. Right? What's a music distributor? How do you get those deals? But then the next step, how do you market the music? Because I've worked with people who are super early in their careers and they don't have a plan. And so that almost guarantees that the project is going to be a failure. And oftentimes they're signing artists who are also early to their careers. And so collectively, it's going to be a big waste of time and money. Now, ultimately, you're learning, you're getting experience, but you want to build good relationships so people have positive things to say about working with you. So what I'm saying is just to take what could be as few as 4 hours going through something like a course, but just to self-learn, or just watching, binge watching a bunch of YouTube videos, even here on Top Music Attorney. Just make sure you take that time to educate yourself. And also, the source matters, right? There are a ton of people on YouTube who have a lot of things to share about the music business, and it kind of makes me nervous as an attorney that watches some people who will give legal advice who aren't attorneys, because they don't know what they're talking about, but they're giving legal advice, and it could result in artists getting really hurt or making big mistakes in their career. So just be mindful of who it is that you're kind of consuming content from. And number 1 on why record label owners are broken sad, they settle and sign the first artist they meet. Super early on, you're gonna meet creative, awesome people, and you're going to want to sign them and you want to give them that helping hand. Maybe you are experienced. Maybe you were in a band at some point and you toured and you have some experience under your belt of how this business works. And so then you see someone like an artist or a band who needs help. You sign them, but then it turns out that you really didn't do your research on this person as far as, are they a good fit for you? Are they a good business partner? Do they have their social media? Are they working their social media? Are they trying to actively learn on their own, because there's two big things that happen to a lot of record label owners. Number one, the artist has zero drive. They have a big dream. They want to be a big star. They want this thing to be successful. But when it comes to actually executing and posting, for example, every single day on social media, they don't. And there are a million excuses why they can't, or why, their dog ate their phone, or whatever kind of excuse is going to come up. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is, did they execute or not? Are they lazy, right? Are they distracted with other things? Are they a good fit for your label? So that's kind of the first issue that we see a lot with artists. Another incredibly common situation that I see is that the artist gets signed, the artist has let's say a beautiful voice, very talented, but then they won't get in the studio to complete their album. Again, this goes back to the motivation. What is it that they're doing? How are they spending their time? And what do they want? If they don't have that drive and that self-starter attitude, it's not worth your time and investment. And a lot of label owners will realize this too late. They've already spent the money. They already made the music videos. They've spent $50,000 on an artist, and all of a sudden the artist decides that they don't really want to have a music career. And I would say of a large majority of conversations that I have with frustrated record label owners has to do with this exact issue. The artist is not performing, the artist is not hustling, and the record label takes it upon itself to be like, it's my fault. What can I do to make them? And my answer is nothing. Maybe you need to terminate the contract and move on to someone who wants it that badly. Guys, I went to law school, paid $200,000 so I could learn how the music business works, how to protect myself legally, how to do these contracts, and now I'm going to teach you how to do all of it. That's why I put this course together. If you want to check it out, link down in the description. Other than being a record label owner myself, I'm also an artist. If you want to check out a little of what I'm up to, just search Miss Krystle on all music platforms. Don't forget to come say hi on social media. I'm at Top Music Attorney. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss any videos from your new favorite redhead. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm Miss Krystle.